Hey y'all, it's Sister Farnsworth. Welcome to COMM130 Visual Media. I'm super excited to have you in the course this semester, and I found in past semesters that the best way to kind of jump right in and get started and have a bird's eye view of what's going on is to kind of cover this town hall video of what you need to know to be successful in COMM130. So here we go. There are kind of two statements I hear from most students as we get into the semester. The first one is, why does design matter? Oftentimes students just think that design is about looking pretty. And although, yes, we are striving to have beautiful things that capture attention and draw viewers in, we also are looking to communicate effectively. We want to use the written word and graphic visuals to create a really strong message that attracts and educates our target audience, right? This skill is super helpful in any profession that you choose. Not to mention it's awesome for your personal endeavors. If you want a side hustle or a volunteer opportunity, you have design skills that you can use, even church callings, right? One of the things I want you to be aware of is this week, you should be reading the textbook, chapters 1 through 5, and covering contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. These are 4 design principles that we talk about week after week in the course. You'll be expected to understand them, to apply them to your work, and to be able to look at already created pieces by other designers and point out where these principles are used. We'll then add in typography and photography to these skills, so you'll have 6 in total to use, and that will help you become a graphic designer that not only makes pretty things, but can communicate really well through your designs, okay? The second phrase or declaration I hear from students is that they're not creative. They really aren't. They tell me sometimes, I promise, Sister Farnsworth, I am not good at this. And I understand, I hear you. But maybe you like interior design. Maybe you bake. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're a photographer. Maybe you're a woodworker, a video gamer, a mountain biker, a climber. There's all types of things that you do. You use creativity when you create a pie or a piece of furniture, when you design a room to be aesthetically pleasing, right? You also use creativity as a parent, a sister, a mother, a father, a friend, right? When we talk to people, we oftentimes gather information and then we provide an outlook, our own perspective, right? Maybe we think outside the box and create a plan of how we're going to accomplish things. So you are creative. It may just not be in graphic design yet. My final argument for why you're creative is because every single one of us is a child of God. We are made in His image. He created our bodies and this world that we live in. He created the sciences and the music and the literature and the art, all the things that we enjoy, okay? And if He wants us to be as He is, and He is obviously creative, then we are too. It's just a matter of finding those skills and making them into something wonderful. Expectations. You've read through the syllabus, taken the syllabus quiz. You've probably done this in multiple classes. You may be working in a new job, new hours, new everything, right? The best way to get through anything is to figure out what the expectations are. So let me tell you straight out the gate, you've got this, I promise. As far as expectations go, here's what you can expect from me. The university asks that I complete all grading of your assignments within 7 days of when it's turned in. If you turn it in on day 1 at a specific time, I'll turn it around to you by day 7 at that same time, okay? The only place this becomes a problem for our specific course is that you turn in a rough draft on day 1, right? And within 7 days, at that exact same time, 7 days out, you're supposed to turn in a final draft that's been refined. That becomes an issue because I try to give you what is listed as number 2 on this slide, personalized feedback. The university asks me to review your work, to give suggestions for improvement, okay? And to give you options and help that may help you not only learn more, but better your grade. So the refinement on that draft, according to the university, doesn't have to be turned in until the exact moment that you turn in your final. For me, I raise the expectation a little bit. I want to get you your work back as soon as I possibly can, all right? Please, though, understand that I'm a person too. I have a life and children and other things going on just like you do. And so if you'll be patient with me as I try to get those back as quickly as possible. I want you to get valued and helpful feedback, and I can't do that if I rush. But I am trying to put you guys on the top of my list and get that feedback back to you as quickly as possible. You'll find that personal feedback in the form of project checklists. This is actually what I recommend to students who are trying to patiently wait but are waiting for my refinement feedback. Each week during refinement week of a project, I post a project checklist, and what you can do while you wait for feedback from me or from your peers is to take that checklist and compare it against your own work and see if you can't start the refinement process already. Then you can go through, look at your extra refinement ideas from the draft files in the rubric, okay? The third and final thing the university asks me to do is to respond within 24 hours when I receive student emails. I want to help you, and I want to respond to you as quickly as I possibly can, for sure within those 24-hour deadlines. Let me tell you, 2 times that may be a problem, and it might take a little bit longer than 24 hours to hear from me. The university wants me in the course 5 days a week. I try to even show up on Saturday to make it 6 days a week, but my time on Saturday is a little bit less than during my normal Monday to Friday check-ins, okay? Oftentimes my Saturday check-in is kind of sporadic. I might check in for 5 minutes and look at emails. Then I may come back 20 minutes at a later point in the day and post the next week's announcement or those kind of things, okay? Please know that on the weekend, because I don't work on Sundays, and I don't expect you to either if you don't want to, please know that the response time might be a little bit longer on the weekends just because I'm not in the course as often, and the university only asks that I'm in there during the weekdays, okay? If you have questions, please ask early. And if it happens to be on the weekend, please plan to send me an email with your question, but don't expect that I'll get back to it as quickly. Instead, maybe also Google it, ask out a question on conversation board, see if other students know who might be in the course right then. Students often read through the syllabus and they look through the course and then they get a little bit worried about grades. First thing that comes up is there seems to be not very many points for the number of assignments or the amount of work we do. You're right, the total course points are 200. I've heard that other courses that are online have much higher total course points. This course is set at 200. I don't have any control over that. That is something that is set by our course creator and the department. I don't control what the value of each assignment is or how the course points are distributed, okay? The total design points in our course are 28. Let's say that you're concerned that design is kind of subjective. And although, yes, I guess it could be, in this course, when I grade your design, I grade off of 4 things, okay? These are the things you should be reading in this first week quiz: contrast, repetition, alignment, proximity. And then as we introduce topography and photography, I also grade your assignments where those are applicable, okay? Please know that if you are concerned that I might not like your color choices, or I don't like your topic, or the subject that you've decided, the subject matter you've decided to design around, I don't grade any of that. I don't consider any of that when I grade you, okay? I grade you only on contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity, and then topography and photography where it's applicable. That means, let's say that you're like, well, I just know I'm going to bomb the design section. Okay, it's only 28 points. If we take 28 away from 200, you will still have an 86% in the course if you get all other possible points, okay? An 86 is a decent grade. It's a fairly high B, okay? So you can pass and be successful. Let me also tell you this, though. In the 17 semesters or so that I have taught this course, I have never given 0 design points to someone who has turned in an assignment, okay? The only way you get a 0 on your design points is if you turn in no assignment, okay? If you don't turn in anything, of course, you'll earn a 0. But if you turn in something, I will do my best to give you the points that you have earned, okay? The best way to be successful in this class is to meet the minimum expectations, which are outlined in your project requirements, and then to closely follow those instructions that appear after the minimum expectations in the project assignment, okay? Another thing that I get a lot of questions on from students after they look at the syllabus is the no late work policy. You are 100% right. You understood. The communications department has a no late work policy, and I am a super strong supporter of this. No matter what industry you work in, and I've worked in several, deadlines seem to be of utmost importance to almost everyone. In fact, I don't know that I've met anyone in an industry that doesn't care about deadlines. So with that, we're going to go ahead and practice this no late work and following deadlines in our course. Students have asked about tech issues as outlined in the syllabus and for the mulligan. Tech issues are not an excuse to submit late. Saying to me, I couldn't get the program downloaded on my computer, so can I have an extension? The answer is no. You know what the deadlines are. You've been told ahead of time what needs to happen to have that occur so that you can meet a deadline. So it is your responsibility to make sure that you have appropriate tech. I do understand that sometimes our internet goes down, our computer freezes and falls apart, things happen. So right now what I would recommend to you is think through what you could do if that happens. So for me, sometimes in the summertime, we go to a little tiny town and stay at our family cabin. And the only place to get reliable internet is to drive to the church house that happens to be in that little town. And I sit in the parking lot under a big giant green tree that is beautiful. I enjoy the outdoors and I respond to student emails and I grade papers. Okay. The great thing about this is that that's the exception, not how I normally work. Okay. So please think through what could be your exception. Maybe it's a church house for you. Maybe it's an internet cafe. Maybe it's the Mac lab on campus. Maybe it's a friend who happens to have a brand new computer and super great internet. Okay. Think through what other resources you have. Libraries often have access to Adobe programs and computer labs that are available for free. So think it through. What do you have access to that you could use in case your tech does not work? The second thing I want to talk to you about is the mulligan. Because of our no late work policy, we gave you a mulligan. The mulligan can be used one time. It absolutely must be submitted prior to the original deadline for the assignment you want to use the mulligan on. What the mulligan does is buy you 48 hours that you can work on your assignment and then turn it in and still get full credit if that's what you earn, okay? So the mulligan is what buys you the extra time. If it's not submitted before the deadline, you may not use your mulligan for that assignment. Is that clear? We're good, okay. Finally, let me say this. There are occasional emergencies that are not thought about, expected. They are often terrible. I've had this happen a couple of times to students. No, right off the bat. My heart and my prayers are with you if that happens to you this semester. I hope it doesn't. But if it does, please make sure you take care of whatever necessary things you need to concerning yourself, your family, or whoever's involved in that emergency. Then when you get a second, send me a note, okay? Let me know what the emergency is. Just because we have a no late work policy in our course does not mean that we totally just ignore crazy exceptions and emergencies, okay? If you're not sure if the exception would apply to you, send me a note, let me know, okay? We'll talk it through and figure out what we can do if we can't accept late work for that situation, okay? Finally, work ahead, save often, give yourself a buffer. Students often, because they're worried about grades and they know about the no late work policy, they say, well, what about extra credit? If there's enough extra credit, I'll be okay. In my course, I have found that students who are working on extra credit often fall behind in the learning we are currently doing. And because this course is online, but it is live in the sense that you have deadlines every week, I don't want you to fall behind trying to make up extra credit for past grades and miss out on learning that's coming, okay? Because what that does is just put you behind the whole semester. So if there is any extra credit at all, it is minimal in our course. When I told you earlier that success can be achieved by meeting the minimum expectations and closely following instructions, I really did mean it. I wasn't just saying something that sounded academic, I promise. With that said, extra credit every once in a while does pop up, but don't plan on it saving your grade, okay? You will get an opportunity at the end of this video to earn a point of extra credit. So listen all the way through, okay? If it hasn't happened yet, you probably will say about the time you turn in your first Adobe worksheet in the Illustrator program, you'll email me and say, do you know how much time this is? And if you don't email me, you'll probably think, she's crazy, this is a lot of time. And you're right, these programs can be huge time suckers. This class has been known to suck a lot of time from students. And I don't want it to be the demise of you being successful in other courses, okay? So let's review really quickly what the university says is an adequate amount of time for this course. From the university handbook, they say that you can expect to send 3 to 4 hours per every credit hour of a course. COMM130 is 3 credits, which means on any week, you should spend between 9 and 15 hours on your homework and your learning for this course. With that said, that's the average. You may need less or more, okay? It is not bad to assess the course and say, I don't know if this will work this semester. Please be thoughtful on your time management these first few weeks and also assess your course load and your stress level and how much else you have going on in your life. If this isn't the right semester for the course, don't feel bad or be embarrassed. Like, I understand. Sometimes this isn't the right semester. I get it. And this happens often, and I encourage students to make best choices based on what they can handle for the semester we're in. There are a lot of moving parts in this course, so my biggest suggestion would be to you is to schedule time and make a plan and take advantage of the resources you have access to, okay? Work ahead if possible. Those resources I just mentioned, here are a few that could be really useful in getting your skills to where they need to be and getting your questions answered. The first one is you have access to 1 hour 3 times a week, so that's a total of 3 hours, with individual tutoring online. We have students who have taken the course and been successful, who are familiar with the programs and with the requirements of our class. They are great to use for tech issues, program questions, creative project feedback. They are tremendous resources to be successful here. Please make sure you check out the tutoring options on the left-hand side of in our home screen for the course and see what it takes to schedule a tutoring appointment. I have heard in past semesters that sometimes tutoring appointments are hard to get into. If that is the case, don't just decide to give up. Send me a note. We'll see what we can do, okay? Tutoring resource tab. This is a place for you to ask questions. It kind of works like an old school chat board. The students that are the board moderators are actually the student tutors and some instructors. There are times I get on and answer questions if I see them there. You'll also see other students answering questions. This is a place to kind of gather and look for answers. And then if you happen to know an answer, go ahead and shoot out a quick reply. But I've really found that students use this tab. They are quite successful, and they also feel like they're highly supported. There are other students that are filling and doing the same things that they're doing. The third place that you can find options is to check out help videos. I post help videos in the questions and conversations board each week. Those videos pertain to those direct assignments. So this is a great place to look. And in those videos, I don't just show you a bunch of stuff that you don't need. I try to actually cover all the frequently asked questions that I get from students, okay? So these are really helpful videos. I do not require that you watch them. I mark them as optional, but do know this is a great resource if you need questions answered or want to see how a project should be done, okay? So those are great places to look. I mentioned question and conversation boards to you. So that is another thing I'd love to cover. Google and YouTube and the questions and conversation boards are probably your new BFFs, okay, for the semester at least. You want to subscribe to the weekly Q&C boards. You want to ask and answer questions, request tutorials. All those things can happen there. You'll find other students might have the answer for you. This is a great place to share resources and to learn from each other. This is kind of a virtual classroom of sorts. So this is a place you can comment, you can get responses back. Please be mindful of how you talk and interact with each other in these programs. We want to create a learning community that everybody feels safe in and that we all feel respected in, okay? The Adobe programs are super powerful. There are lots of things you can learn. It's easy to get lost in it all. Time-wise, it's in your best interest to troubleshoot. I want you to talk to me or to request tutors and those type of things, but please don't just say, well, I have to wait for a tutoring session and it's on Friday, so I guess I'll be late in my assignment. Don't do that. Instead, request the tutoring session you can attend, but then see how much you can troubleshoot on your own by using Google or YouTube. There's a lot of videos out there, okay? So use the resources we have, but then also look to schedule live and customized help. Finally, I can help. Oftentimes, the students will email me and say, hey, do you have office hours? The answer is yes, I do. And there are no dumb questions, okay? You don't have to have a huge disaster of a question to be able to get help from me, okay? You're welcome to access me anytime you want. I promise that there are no dumb questions, that somebody has the same question you do. In fact, I've probably heard your question before. I do check the questions and conversations boards once each day, and it is a great place to ask. Other students can know and respond there too. If you want to touch base with me, here's the quickest way to get in touch. You can use my university email, but you're also competing with other students, textbook dealers, all kinds of things. A lot of administrative stuff comes through my university email. I check there, but sometimes it gets lost just because of the number of emails I'm getting. So the quickest response and the place that I have reserved for my current students is the Canvas or inbox feature. okay? That's right there in our course. It's over on the left-hand side. Click there and message me. That's the quickest place. You guys are the only ones that email me there. And I check there frequently, and it dings on my phone when those come in. So that's the best place to talk to me, okay? If you want to make an appointment during office hours, here's what you do. You'll go up in the top left-hand screen, you'll see here what our homepage looks like. That inbox feature is right over here. It looks like a little tiny envelope with a letter in it, okay? So that's where you can email me. And then if you want to see how to sign up for an office hour or how to get to the Zoom room so we can meet for our office hour, you'll go to the homepage, you'll go to your instructor, then down here in the bottom right corner, you'll see my bio. You can read all this information, but you've probably already heard it and know about me. You'll go ahead and schedule an office hour appointment. This link will take you to an outside website. You can see what's available for the week. If there's not something available that fits your time frame, then come back to our course, send me an email and say, I looked at appointments. There's not anything that fits my schedule. And then give me a couple of days or times that might work for you. Sometimes I can move my schedule around to accommodate yours, okay? Once we've set up an appointment, you'll come to my Zoom room. I have no official office or meeting place on campus. I actually don't even live in Rexburg. So you'll come back to Sister Farnsworth's virtual office, this top link, when it's time to jump into the Zoom room and talk to me. All right. If you email me directly, or I think you can leave a little comment when you book your office hour appointment, if you'll tell me what it is we're talking about, that way I can come prepared for whatever it is. Sometimes I even can send you a note back really quick and say, does it look like this? Here's how you fix it. So I found I can speed up the process if I have an idea of what we're going to talk about when we meet. And of course, if we fix it ahead of time, we don't have to meet, or if you want to meet anyway, we can do that too. Finally, tips. There are a couple of tips that I have gotten from students over the course of my time teaching this course. These are things that they told me were the most useful in helping them be successful in the class. So let's get to this because this is probably the most important part of the video. The first and most mentioned item is read the announcements. They talked about video tutorials that I put in there. I include videos of mock projects for each of the big projects. You can see how I get started. I show you how-tos on some of those frequently asked questions. They also made the comment that there are important notes and answers that actually are in those weekly announcements. So they give the time to read them because they know that what I put in there is I try to make it the most useful stuff, the how-tos, the heads up, all that kind of stuff. They also mentioned there's to-dos, deadlines, and how to do it all. Sometimes I outline what needs to happen for the week. You'll see major deadlines called out in kind of a grid form. And then I might mention little, here's how you might want to accomplish it. So I kind of help with a little bit of time management on those busiest weeks. Another thing that they mentioned as useful was knowing how to find feedback. You can access these pages through your grade book. Probably you're familiar with this if you've taken other courses through Canvas and through BYUI. Places that I put comments, you'll see comments through the normal, just, back and forth chatter as we comment about assignments. And then also where you'll see the most comments is right here in the rubric. And then you'll be able to read the descriptions about why the points are laid out how they are, okay, for each section. Please know that if you comment on an assignment, I may not see that comment until I grade it. If you want quick feedback, remember the fastest way to find it, to make a comment and get a response from me, is to go back to the inbox feature and send me an email regarding an assignment, okay? Another thing that they mentioned is watch the videos. They help. I've heard that from so many students, and I'm glad that that's the case. I take it as a huge compliment. Please know that the videos that they're talking about are the ones that I say are optional, okay? They're not required by the university to watch them, but when I create a video, I want to spend my time helping you. So I come up with the things that I hear the most from students, and I cover those questions, okay? One video that is 100% mentioned as a useful video is this how to find feedback on your work in Canvas. Okay, I'm surprised I get students halfway through the semester that say, you're not giving me any feedback. What are you talking about? And I say, did you not watch the video? And they say, no, I didn't. So here is the link. Go ahead and watch the video, okay? And then you'll know how to access your feedback and see all my drawovers and the comments, okay? So that's watch the videos. They help. Finally, the things they talk about, I ask them, when frustration hits, what should people do? These are the things they listed off. Don't give up, ask for help. In fact, ask early. Divide up the tasks, get through a set number before you're done for the day. Okay. Tell yourself, here's what has to happen this week, and then divide it up based on the work time that you have available. Take a short break when things get rough. I know one of the things I do just to give myself a break from grading papers or answering questions is I will tell my kids, hey, let's take a walk. Let's play a quick round of Mario Kart. Doing something fun allows your creativity to kind of get unlocked and back to use. Okay. We can use it again once we've taken a break and let our mind rest. Another thing they make a comment about is to move forward to what comes next or what you can do. It's very easy when you hit a wall and can't figure something out to just stop and just hit the wall and don't move forward. In this class, time is important. So you want to, if you can't do one exercise or you can't figure something out, make a note and then move on to something you can do. Okay. That way you'll have 5 or 6 questions to send to me at the end of your work time, as opposed to 5 or 6 emails with scattered questions. Okay. And then finally, what I tell students all the time, and what they say is a big thing, is to remember, always submit what's done, even if it's not complete. My goal is to help you get the most points you possibly can, not to take them away. But to do that, I need you to turn in an assignment. So even if you have not completed it, even if you feel like your work is not stellar and you maybe are feeling like you shouldn't turn it in because you feel like it might be a little bit embarrassing or it doesn't display the quality of work you feel like you could do, don't worry, turn it in anyhow. Okay. My job is not to judge you. My job is to help you get the grade that you want to get in the course. And to do that, I have to be able to see your work. So please submit what's done, even if it's not complete. And be sure that you submit it as the PDF or the outline file type, because if you submit the wrong file, I won't be able to give you credit for it. Finally, let me just say this. You have the power to be successful in this course. I am excited to learn with you this semester. And here's what you've probably been waiting for, the extra credit point. You access this video through an announcement that was posted in our course. In that announcement, I've included the YouTube video about how to find feedback in the course. What I want you to be able to do is go back to that announcement. You will hit reply, and then you will type in the words, let's do this, just like it is right here at the top of the screen. Okay? Type in let's do this, and then write your name underneath. And then you will get a note from me and see it pop up in your grade book, 1 point of extra credit for completing the town hall video. All right. Don't worry. Other people won't be able to see your comment until after they post. So they won't get credit unless they watch the end of the video and type in let's do this as well. And with that said, I'm praying for you. I'm cheering for you. You've got this.